Last leg of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's France visit, and there are a couple of more events and programs that he is going to attend before he departs for United States later in the day. Right now, the Prime Minister is at the Mazargues War Cemetery in France's Marseilles. The cemetery contains a memorial that honors the memory of Indian soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice while defending foreign lands during the World Wars. Over 1,000 Indian soldiers who took part in the First World War were cremated at this place, at the cemetery. From Australia to France to Singapore, during all his overseas visits, Prime Minister Modi has been at the forefront of paying tribute to the Indian soldiers who laid down their lives far away from the motherland. In Marseille, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also jointly inaugurate an Indian consulate. So these are visuals when the Prime Minister, along with the French President, was paying his tributes to the fallen soldiers, the Indian soldiers who laid down their lives during world wars. Let me go across to Rishabh, is joining us on the broadcast with more details. Talking about Marseille, it's also the telecommunications hub. Before the Prime Minister landed, he spoke about the significance of the place. Rishabh, he also paid tributes to Veer Savarkar, and just a short while back, we saw him paying tributes to the Indian soldiers who sacrificed their life during world wars.
Well, Swati, definitely. Let's start from the War Memorial, where we just saw the Indian Prime Minister. This is the second War Memorial in France that Prime Minister has visited. Back in 2015, he had visited New Chapel as well, where Indian forces from the 7th Division, which is the Meerut Division, and the 4th Division, which is the erstwhile United India Lahore Division, and the 39th Garhwal Division fought. Around 138,000 for that matter, soldiers fought in Belgium and France during 1914 and 1915, immediately after Britishers, declared war on Germany. And there are cases where the Indian soldiers have shown the valor, the valiant fighting that these soldiers have shown. And remember, when we talk about these soldiers, most of these soldiers who came from the rural background in India fought for a third country in Europe at a monthly remuneration of 15 rupees, out of which they ended up getting around 3 to 4 rupees a month only after all the other amenities were deducted. And after that, we saw these soldiers, 84,000 Indian soldiers lost their lives in the First World War itself, fighting on the fronts of West Asia and Europe. And the way these soldiers have been forgotten in the military history as well of the subcontinent, that showcases that how this visit of Prime Minister becomes very, very important. Prime Minister has visited New Chapel in 2015. Prime Minister visited Haifa War Memorial as well when he was in Israel. And now this in Marseille, he is at the War Memorial. At this War Memorial where Prime Minister is, Mazargues War Memorial, 900 Indian soldiers from the 4th and the 7th Division, the Lahore and the Meerut Division, have been commemorated. Remember, there have been books that have been written on these soldiers, but there hasn't been a comprehensive study on the on the contribution of Indian soldiers in the World War, because they fought under the Union Jack, the British government. Rachna Beshi is one of the celebrated authors, and she's written bits and pieces of about the stories of First World War and Indian soldiers, and she has very rightly pointed out that most of these soldiers had just come out from the rural background, had no training to fight in trenches, to have an ambush fighting, or to use automatic weapons that were being used in the First World War. And even after all these challenges, the way Indian soldiers showed their military capabilities in various parts of Europe and West Asia is remarkable. And as Pathikrit was just pointing out, Swati, that unlike England, at least France has not forgotten the contribution of Indian soldiers, and that's the reason that we see New Chapel, or for that matter Marseille war cemeteries, that honor Indian soldiers who fought in France on behalf of the British Crown, and at least ensured that the important centers of France could be saved back in the World War I days. From here, we'll see the Prime Minister going for the inauguration of the Indian Consulate in Marseilles. And as we have been speaking, Marseilles Consulate is very, very important. It's not just that it will serve the Indian diaspora there for the consular services. That is one aspect of it. But most important, the IMEC, India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, begins from Mumbai here in India, ends in Marseilles. So this consulate will serve as a trading embassy or the the trade embassy of India there, that will oversee the whole route to ensure that India's interests are served in the best possible way. From there, we'll see the Prime Minister leaving. This is the last leg. We are also waiting for the Foreign Secretary's press conference that is expected around 3:45 India time today to have more outcomes of this visit. But what we are seeing right now is something that showcases India-France relationship. The telecommunication, again, ITFR is where Prime Minister would be visiting. That is something that is very, very important. The nuclear facilities is also very important. And France, remember, is India's strategic partner. The partnership that India and France have reaped in last 25 years. 2023, India and France signed Vision 2047 document as well, the first mutual document that India has signed with a country for a mutual growth and development over the next 25 years. The Vision document is the basis of the strategic partnership that India and France enjoy. Over to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rishabh, thank you very much for taking us through the details. The Prime Minister just a short while back paid tributes to the Indian soldiers who laid down their lives during the world wars in the Mazargues Cemetery in Marseille. And remember, these were wars that India was not even directly connected to. India had nothing to do with these world wars that were taking place. Rishabh, thank you very much for the details. Quick break with that. A lot more lined up on the other side.